Can everybody hear me? Oh, yeah. Okay. We're going to start the ceremony as we wait for the lights to go off, so be patient with us, okay? Thanks. Thanks. Here. So I'm Bailey Callahan, and I'd like to welcome all of you to the Luminaria Ceremony for this year's Eastlake High School Relay. I want to thank all of you for being here. Without you guys, none of this would have been possible, and I wouldn't have had the chance to stand up here in front of all of you. So, as the darkness has settled around us tonight, and yet this field still glows with enthusiasm of each participant, each survivor, and each spectator at this event. It glows by the light of each luminaria bag around us, each made to inspire and to show our love for those who have been thrown into this battle. Let us admire these lit bags around the track, which represent our love and respect for those who have battled and our hope that one day there will be a cure for this disease. There are many people who have fought and lost, but there's one story I would like to tell all of you. This is my story and why I am here in front of all of you today. Bear with me, please. My journey to Relay for Life and being up here in front of you all began one night when my mom and my youngest sister did not come home. My siblings and I came downstairs to get ready for school, and that's when my dad told us what happened. "Your sister is in the hospital," he said. "She's been diagnosed with cancer." At that moment, my heart broke. I went to school that day in tears and in fear of what was going to happen to my baby sister. I was terrified. She was only 7 years old. I remember walking with my friend to the bus that morning, completely in tears. When she saw me crying, her first reaction was, "Did your dog die?" And after laughing about that for a moment, completely crushed, I told her the news. I remember how I felt for that entire day. Scared, nervous, upset, and worried. I had learned a bit about cancer in health classes over the years, but nothing positive. I heard about how many lives it takes each year and how it can be hereditary. I knew that it could be painful, not only for the person with the disease, but for all those around them. That day went by so slowly. I remembered being scared of people noticing that I was crying and asking what was wrong. I didn't want to admit what was happening to my family and to my little sister. But most of all, I remember being confused. Confused about how this could happen to my family, and about how Maddie must have been feeling. I had not seen her for one day, and I already missed her terribly. The next year was full of ups and downs for my family. There were days when all Maddie wanted to do was hold my hand and sit on my lap. And there were days when she felt so sick from her chemotherapy that she just slept the whole day and we didn't get to see her. Those days were the hardest. All I wished was that she was not put in this position. She was my baby sister, and it killed me to see her in pain. Even as a 7-year-old, Maddie inspired so many people with her joyous spirit and positive outlook on life. I cannot remember her without a smile from ear to ear on her face and the sparkle in her big baby blue eyes. She wanted to be a princess, and she was one every day. One dressed in pink and purple and covered completely in glitter, and a very brave one. She believed in fairies and magic, and she had a way to just light up a room. She saw the world as one bright and shining place. Maddie loved to meet new people and to bring a smile to their faces. She was the most courageous person I will ever know. She was such an amazing little girl. After a year of mightily fighting, she lost her battle at age 8, which was much too young. I will never forget that day. It was the worst day of my life. My aunt was watching my siblings and I while my parents were at the hospital with my sister. She was the one who told me that day was going to be my sister's last day. When I heard the news, my legs gave out beneath me, and I refused to move as I cried for my sister. I never thought this could happen to my family, let alone my baby sister, this person I was so close to and loved with all my heart. That night was so hard. We went to the hospital to say our goodbyes, and I remember trying to say goodbye to her between each tear that fell down my face. It was so hard to see her the way that she was, and to know that this was the last day I was going to be able to see my sister. No one should ever have to do that. No one should ever have to live through what I've lived through. My beautiful 8-year-old sister was my best friend, my inspiration, and someone that I loved and still love with all my heart. I hope one day to say that no one will lose their sister to cancer, no one will lose their father to cancer, and no one will lose anyone they care about to cancer. I dream that one day we will have a cure. Maddie inspired me to fight back like she did. She was so full of courage and hope, and a smile that never left her face. She could brighten up a room just with one small smile. She is the reason I started to relay, and the reason I am here in front of you. She lost her battle 3 years ago, but tonight we are continuing her fight that she inspired me to join, the fight to end cancer. There we go. Now, that's just my story, and Maddie's story. But there are more people who have been through similar and different situations when it comes to cancer. Here's Connor Nason to tell us his story.
Here we go. Alright guys, my name is Connor Nason, and if you guys don't know me, I'm going to tell you my story about the 17 years I spent with my dad, Michael Nason. I lost my dad on October 15th, 2012 to non-smoking lung cancer. My dad was an extremely healthy person, and it took us extremely by surprise. 7 months have gone by, and I can still say he lives in my heart, and I still think about him every day. When it says God has a reason for everything, it's true. Even though it sucks, I know it's true. My dad was an amazing guy, and while I'm really thankful for all the memories I had with him, there will always be many great memories, and I'll always remember how my dad was definitely the funniest guy I ever knew. Me and my dad shared many Seahawk games, Wazoo games, times up in my cabin, times with friends and family, and just spending time together, just doing lots of fun things. I will always miss that and all the fun times I had with my dad. To all knew my dad, they know what I'm talking about. But those who didn't know him, he's the reason I am the person I am today. My dad always wanted to be a part of the family. And throughout his last few days, even when he was able to talk, he would sometimes ask me to help him break out of the hospital, and so he can come home and spend time with us at the house. And I would have to tell him, Dad, you're not well enough, you have to be here with the doctors. And he thought that was a ton of bogus, and he should be at home. And you know what, I wish he could have came home. My dad really did change my life. He changed my faith, he guided me, and he helped me, for sure, become a better man. Here's how it works. I was changed by what happens by losing my father. I now know what it is like to lose a loved one to cancer, and I'll always be there for anyone who needs a prayer, a holding hand, or just even guidance along the way. I know it sucks to lose someone to cancer, but to be here without a father, he's still there in my heart. I know on this very night, my dad looks upon me and smiles, and knows that we're doing everything we can for cancer research. I know someday that there will be a cure, but it's not right now. And it's coming up, and I'm hoping soon. I don't want anyone to ever lose their dad again, because it was ridiculous and a 1.5-year fight, and my dad is a warrior, and I miss him so much. Like I said before, it was a blessing to have 17 years with him. It's not enough. He won't be there, when I get married someday, or just all the different points in my life, but I know he'll be there in my heart, and I know someday I'll see him again in heaven. I thank you guys for letting me share my story real quick with you guys, and I love you, Dad, and I know you're looking down on us on Relay tonight, and I'm so blessed to share your story. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you so much, Connor, for sharing your story. I know how hard it is, and it's really amazing of you to do so. We are here tonight to honor those who have fought the battle, those who have lost the battle, and those who are still standing here with us. If you are standing, please take a seat, because I'm going to ask you to all participate in a small something. Bear with me, please. I want to take a second to put into perspective how cancer touches everyone. If you have had a mother or father with cancer, will you please stand up? If you have had a brother or sister with cancer, will you please stand up? If you have had an aunt or uncle with cancer, will you please stand up? If you have had a grandparent with cancer, will you please stand up? If you have had a friend with cancer, will you please stand up? If anyone you know has been affected by cancer, will you please stand up? If cancer has affected you in any way, will you please stand up? I need you to all look around you right now. Look at how cancer has touched all of us. And remember that we are all here to fight against it. We are all here for the same cause, and we are all here to find a cure. Now, I'm going to ask you to please join me in our lap of silence to honor those who have fought this battle and those who have lost it. Please join me on the track behind the tent.